Hey guys, it's Lauren with Discover Double Bass. Today I wanted to talk about shifting. Shifting is a tricky technique and there's a whole lot that can go wrong when you're doing it. But because it's such an integral part of playing bass, we have to be able to do it efficiently and cleanly. So in this lesson, I'm going to show you the key to nailing that shift every time. One of the most important aspects of playing bass is keeping in contact with the bass, or particularly with the fingerboard. But so often we lose that when we're making a shift. It's really common to see when you're making a shift that finger or hand lifting off of the board. So it might look something like this. If you can see, my finger kind of lifted slightly off of the board rather than keeping it planted. If I were to keep it planted, this is what it would look like. Really, really down on the board, and I'm gliding on my finger. Now, the reason that lifting your finger isn't so great for a shift is, first of all, you lose that muscle memory. And we'll talk about this a little bit later, but when you're lifting your finger off of the board and it's sort of up in the air, it's really difficult to measure that distance and maintain the muscle memory that we've been trying so hard to develop, right? But also, it creates a space in between the two notes. And when you lift your finger off, more than just creating a space, you really risk just a big fat squeak, right? So when you're playing, something like this might happen. Some kind of icky sound like that, right? And when you keep your finger planted on the board, there's no space in between the two notes because your finger never loses contact with the board. It's always playing a note. Whereas when you lift the finger off, there's a moment where you're not actually playing anything, but your bow is still playing. And that combination is what causes that squeak. Now, in terms of the space, when you have the finger down, like I said, the same thing with the squeak. When the finger is always in contact with the board, your finger's always playing something. So there's less risk of a space, and the only time you're going to get that is if you've got a stop or a space in the bow, right? Now also, keeping in contact with the fingerboard just helps build that muscle memory. You do so much better building muscle memory when you have something concrete to kind of hold on to, like a fingerboard. But when your finger is up in the air, it's sort of difficult for your hand to measure distance, right? So when you're up in the air, or even just halfway there, it's difficult to kind of measure exactly where your hand wants to go. Your fingers and your hands are actually really smart at figuring out and measuring distance. But if you lift your finger off, it's a lot more difficult to measure that and build that muscle memory. So keeping your finger planted helps in so many different ways. And this is what that looks like. If you were to lift the finger off, it would look a little bit like this. Now, over time, you'll develop an understanding of just what it feels like to shift with your finger planted versus with your finger lifting off of the board. But to practice this, what I would do is take maybe a shifting drill or a tricky shift in your music and just isolate those two notes. And I'm going to show you exactly how I would practice this, using the first finger D on the G string and shift up to first finger G on the G string. The first thing I'm going to do is really slow down that shift so I hear that slide all the way through. And the important thing is that you actually hear it and you feel your finger planted on the string. Now you can do this in separate bows, you can do it slurred, it doesn't really matter, just so long as you hear that slide. You want to go really slow here. And be careful not to squeeze your hand. You want to use the weight of your arm to pull the hand back and press the string down that way, rather than squeezing. If you squeeze, then that makes it a lot more difficult to move freely, right? So keep your hand relaxed but firm in a form and pull back. Right? So now, as you get more comfortable with that exact shift, what you want to do is try to do that shift between the two notes quicker, right? And as you're doing this, you're going to move your left hand quicker, but you're not going to lift your finger up. You're going to keep that feeling of the finger being planted as you move just a little bit quicker. So as you get more comfortable with this, try to make it as quick as you can and try to eliminate that slide in between the two notes without lifting your hand. That's the real important part here, is that you're keeping your finger planted and you're moving quickly, but you're not lifting anything up or squeezing unnecessarily. So I hope this helped and I gave you a lot to work on with your shifting technique. If you have any questions, please leave a comment in the section below and I'll answer you as soon as I can. Now, if you enjoyed this lesson and you would like to learn more from me, please check out my full-length course, all on thumb position, available exclusively on discoverdoublebass.com. Thanks for watching. See you next time.